Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out the Retribution DLC for Galactic Civilizations 3. It's available on Steam for roughly 20 bucks, should you wish to pick it up for yourself. I gotta say, this game just keeps getting better and better, though I have to admit I'm a little biased, just because I've had so much fun playing Galactic Civilizations 1 and 2 when I was younger. The biggest draw for me, honestly, was the shipbuilder. I would spend many an hour, many a day, many a month, many a year, in fact, just creating different ships, trying out different designs. Although, to be fair and to be honest with you, most of it was Star Trek and Star Wars inspired because, I'm a nerd. But what do you want? So, let's quickly go over what this Retribution DLC has to offer. This is going to be less gameplay and more informative based on my off-camera play experience so far. First and foremost, there is a new campaign. If we go to the campaign button here, you'll be able to see all the other campaigns that are available. Some of these are only available if you own the other expansions, like Crusade, for example. But Retribution is the new one. There's a couple of different, I guess they're called episodes. Apocalypse Soon, Elemental, Contingency, and Corruption of the Shard. These are pre-made scenarios. If you don't like being scripted into a particular race against a particular set of opponents, this may not be for you, but it's here should you want to mess around with it. I personally am not a big campaign kind of guy. Again, growing up with Galactic Civilizations, I loved creating my races. I love just creating the galaxy from scratch. Basically telling the computer what I want and then going into it. The campaigns, you're funneled into a particular route. But hey, some people like that stuff, more power to them. Next up, we have two new major civilizations, the Drath and the Karath. I don't know if I'm pronouncing them right, but that's what I'm going with. So if we create a new game, we'll be able to see what they're all about. What's cool, yes, that's my picture. Yes, I created the United Federation of Planets, Starfleet Command, and I've got a weird picture of me. But hey, you can do that. That's what's cool about this. Anyway, getting back to the new civilizations. Okay, so here's one of them, the Karath clan. The Karath clan is made up from formerly elite Drengen warriors who differentiated themselves from their brethren by both the ferocity of their desire to wipe out non-Drengen races and their ability to actually do so. If you look on the right-hand side, you can see a little bit about them. They're exterminators and conquerors, so they're nasty customers. Carbon-based life, content, infertile, unpopular, dense, brutal, organized, and fast. So, yeah, you thought the Drengen were bad. Now you've got the Karath clan. The other ones aren't so bad. The Drath Legion. They're war profiteers. That's their ability. They're considered ancient. Carbon-based life. Influential. Content. Fast. And infertile. Based on my play experience with them, they've expanded a lot more quickly. Like, my off-camera play session that I'm working on involves a 1v3 versus the Drath and the Karath. So basically me versus the Drath versus the Karath. And so far the Drath have expanded like no one's business. I'm usually the influential route kind of person where I put influential star bases everywhere and just sort of like a hostile influential takeover kind of thing without even firing a shot. That's what I do. But these guys here, they're expanding very fast, so they worry me a little bit. But anyway, so these guys, mysterious creatures who love to move in the shadows. The Drath are masters of subterfuge and manipulation, rumored to be behind every major conflict in the galaxy, though it's just as likely they spread those rumors themselves. So, two new races that you can mess around with. I just noticed this now. Taiwan, these are races from Star Control. So, if you've played their recent Star Control Origins game, you'll recognize these races. I wonder if Jeff will make a special appearance. I don't know. That would be pretty funny. Now that we're in-game, we can take a look at some of these other features, one of which are artifacts. Artifacts are special things that are found on planets that let you do cool stuff. It reminds me a little bit of Sins of a Solar Empire, Sometimes, as you explored these planets that you colonized, you'd find artifacts, and these artifacts would give you buffs in various ways. That's what these artifacts seem to do. You always start off with one on your home planet. I started off with Wormhole Generator, and whenever I have charges, which I can get by, if I go to Earth, for example, there is this Wormhole Generator Study, which basically, after I quote-unquote finish the construction of it, there's really no construction involved. Basically, you're spending production in order to get a charge, and then that charge is used to power the artifact. So I can double-click on Wormhole Generation, add it to my queue, and when it's finished, I'll have gained a charge to use for that artifact, which is pretty cool. I've also gained some other ones here, having colonized other planets. A nanite transmitter, able to transmit a stream of nanites to any part of the galaxy and instantly construct a warship. Spawn an Overlord warship. Location, Texas 3. Echoing Heartstone, a shard from the Heart of Creation. Activating it significantly increases the influence of the selected planet. 10,000 influence. That's my kind of artifact. Love it. And then lastly, so far I've discovered the Bernal Sphere. Self-sustaining habitat can be deployed on any planet and provides a comfortable home for its inhabitants. So long story short here, you're going to be discovering artifacts on the planets that you control. As soon as you take it over, you'll find it. And then you'll be able to power these artifacts by spending production on that planet. And if you double-click on these artifacts to the right, you'll see a little tooltip on the bottom left. Just click on Go to Colony, and it'll zoom right to the planet that has it. So there's no going, okay, what planet had that artifact? Was it this one over here? Was it this one? Or was it this one over here? I don't remember. Now you can click on the right-hand side here, and then click on the Go to Colony, and then you can queue that up if you want to, which I'm going to go ahead and think about doing that, because who doesn't want that? I think I've already got it queued up. I'm way ahead of myself here. Hypergates. Hypergates are things that you can construct in order to increase your movement speed. I don't have any built myself, so I'm bumming a look off of my opponent here. And you can identify it by the white line that's shooting out. The first time I saw it, I'm like, what is that? Is that some sort of death ray that's gunning for my planet? No, it's a bunch of hyperlanes. Hyperlanes plus 100% move. So if you're looking to travel very quickly from one place to another, you may want to consider constructing these hyperlanes and have at it. I mean, I don't have any yet, but I may consider doing that just because I think it's a good idea, especially in larger maps. Like, this is a medium-sized map right here, and it takes me quite a number of turns to go from, say, Earth to Algor 4. That takes me into another new feature that this game has to offer, something called supply ships. If I double-click on my shipyard, there's a new specialty ship called the supply ship. This thing hauls refined goods to another colony, providing 100 manufacturing points. So, let's say that you've got your home planet of Earth, wherever you happen to be, whatever its name is, and you just founded a new colony way out here, and it's slow going. You don't have a factory there yet, you don't want to spend any credits to fast build it, so what do? Well, if you've already built a hyperlane from one to the other, then great. If not, you can still build those supply ships and send them down to the new colony to give them a bit of a production boost. That way they can start producing all of these buildings quickly and get a head start on everything. It's a really cool idea. I like it. It allows your older planets that are maintained well and producing a lot to help out your newer planets get the jump start that they need. The last major change of this expansion, admittedly I know the littlest about, is the new tech tree. Now, at first glance, I didn't notice anything new about it. I mean, in the older Galactic Civilization 3 games and DLCs and the core game, there's so many texts, there's no way I could memorize all of this. But supposedly, they streamlined this all a bit. They combined this to this, moved this around over here. The developers of this game, Stardock, have a bunch of journal forum posts on their official website that outline some of these changes. So if I remember, I'll go ahead and put a link in the below description so that you could read more about it. So just, if you take away anything from what I just said, they've revamped the tech tree. Okay, I mean, it still looks the same. You're still going to be choosing one technology, jumping around, going down paths that you prefer, whether it be cultural domination or xeno-industrialization, and ignoring things like a Star Federation or espionage. I mean, you could do that. You could branch evenly, or you can just shoot straight down if you want to. It takes a little longer to do that, but you can do it. I prefer the cultural domination route, so I tend to focus on that so I can get the jump start on all of my opponents and do what I'm doing over here. I've got two enemy planets here with sad faces on them because I have a cultural starbase here and a cultural starbase on this side, and it's applying a lot of pressure onto them. I don't know if I'll ever be able to take it over. My influence is 2.1x. I honestly don't know what number it needs to be in order for it to convert, but like I said, tech tree, focus on what you want, and in this expansion, they've revamped some things. So if you're very familiar with the tech tree and you know it in and out, you may be in for some changes that you didn't expect. And there you have it. That is a quick overview of the new Retribution DLC. Again, it's $20 on Steam, should you wish to pick it up for yourself. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.